I've recorded an example of adding extra functionality to the game just by editing the JSON files. So for example here, I'm adding another room, which I called the back garden. Now this is going to be attached to the back of the house. So we add the extra parameters for the location, description for one, and also a route back to the other room, which is the back of the house. So we need to get the room ID for the back of the house to attach it to that. I have an array of items. We will be adding a couple of other items to it, but we need to create those first. And I'm going to go back to the rear of the house to add a route from there to this new location. So based off of that alone, these two locations are now connected by a route back and forth. So now I go to the items.json file. Here I'm going to add another item called the ball. So then there'll be a bouncy ball in the back garden which the player can interact with. I also add another item which I call key. It's just a silver key, something enticing for the player, potentially possible to link in further down the line with any other tasks we want the player to perform. Here it's not going to do anything, but it's just to show that we can add extra items to the game and have them interact with the game's logic. So there I only put the ball in the back garden. The key doesn't exist in the world currently. What I'm instead going to do is add another verb, and I'm going to let the player kick the ball. Now, as I said before, each verb is connected with one or more objects that it can be used to target. So in this case we're using the ID of the ball to say that the player can type kick ball. Here I just needed to get the action ID, which is essentially what the verb will trigger in the game logic. So action ID 6 is to add a new item to a location. Action target is the ID of the key, which means that we're adding the key to a new location. And the parameters are 20, which is the ID of the location that the key will be added to. So what this means overall is that if you kick the ball, the key will appear in the back garden, and you'll get the response here under return string to say what happens. Required objects dictates any other objects that need to be present and what states they need to be in. For example, in the base game, in order to burn the spooky note, you need to be in a room with a fireplace, and the fireplace needs to be lit. So now we can see in the game, when you get to the back of the house, you can go into the back garden, and you can type kick ball, and a key will appear.